Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert back with the Ted Show. I am with the one named lady, no, the lady named Elaine Jacques. She's going to give that story in a little bit. We're going to talk about coaching and becoming a better you and a more amazing you and all that good stuff that we all can use right now. So, welcome to the show, Elaine.
Thank you, Ted. I so appreciate the invitation. I'm super
Thanks for
excited
your
to have a conversation with you today.
Thanks for your patience. Thanks for your, we had a couple of reschedules, and that is 1000% my fault and my schedule. But we're back. All right, so let's take a deep dive. Tell us about you.
Oh, well, thank you. That's a really big question, or a small question, depending on how you feel
A
about it.
big one. It's a big one.
It's a big one. So, my name is Elaine Jacques. I am currently bridging a third and fourth career. So, I am a medical speech language pathologist working in acute care hospitals with adults. And I also am a leadership development and leadership presence coach. So, that's just a little 1% about me.
How did you obviously didn't have a leadership coach, Barbie. So what did you want to be when you grew up, and where are you from?
Oh, goodness. Wow. Okay. Well, I was born in Michigan, but I don't have a lot of memories of that since my parents moved me from there when I was 6 months old. So sorry. I know there's the whole thing about like pointing on your hand where you're from in Michigan, and I don't know how to do that. So I was raised in Northern California, went to bachelor's program up in Washington State, spent almost a year in Taiwan before I did my bachelor's, primarily since, well, let's see, in the last 15 years or so, I've lived in Southern California. So that's where I currently
Beautiful.
reside. Yes.
All right, so
Yes.
let's talk about you mentioned it, third or fourth career. You mentioned two things that you're doing right now. So give us a little bit of an idea of how you shifted from, I'm assuming you were trained on the medical side and the language side. And so becoming a coach, becoming a leadership coach, becoming a somebody who helps people become more amazing, that's a newer venture than what you went to school. So what was the journey like to get to that?
Okay, so for 16 years, I've been a medical speech language pathologist. So got my master's degree in speech language pathology. That's my big title. I like to say when I work with patients that I'm a speech and swallowing therapist because everyone knows the word therapy means I'm here to help you, whereas pathology sounds like something's wrong and scary. So I don't talk about that a lot, but that is my official big title. But that's my third career. About 4 or 5 years ago, I started feeling like, the conversation that I'm having the most with my patients is about their end of life care. And while I am deeply honored and touched to be a part of patients' lives, at some point, I think my soul started to feel like I really want to work with people who are going to go on and live and do really amazing things. And so started looking around at what can I do that would bring that facet into my life, and discovered coaching and just fell in love with it and love working with people. And my tagline is become even more amazing because I want people to know immediately that I think you're already amazing,
Yeah.
and let's work together so that you can become even more amazing. So,
What was that like, finding the coaching program or the coaching techniques that spoke to you? Because there's a lot of options out there. There's a lot of places to go. I mean, there must be 10 things I got on Instagram or Facebook every day, and even on LinkedIn. Do you want to be a coach? Would you like to be a coach? You want to participate in being a coach? And so I think people are just like everything else, finding a hard time maneuvering through it and figuring out which one makes sense, which one's legit. So how did you do that?
So, in looking around, I talked to a friend who also had transitioned from another career, and he said there's a program. It's called the College of Executive Coaching. You have to have a graduate degree in order to participate in the program, and they prepare you for being ready to become International Coach Federation certified. So, coming from a background where certifications and licensures and code of ethics is a big deal, I thought, let's do that. I don't like to do anything part ways. So, let's do this legit. Not that I want to not poke any holes in anyone who's doing amazing work without a certification or a licensure. But that was something that I felt that I really wanted to do, to have that sense of respect and groundedness in a good, solid program. So that was the route that I chose to take. It's a pretty intensive program to get certified by the International Coach Federation. And I'm pretty happy about that. So I've been certified for a little over 3 years now.
And what clients, so when you find your coursework, you find your place that you feel comfortable, and you get your certification, then how do you determine how to find clients and what type of clients you want to work with? And because it's a broad range, it could just be on a personal coaching level, it could be professional leadership, CEO, nonprofit. I mean, there's so many different ways to go. How did you find your comfort zone?
Well, I think like a lot of people, you at first you're so excited about doing coaching, and so you coach anybody and everybody. I can coach everyone. I can help everyone become even more amazing. This is so much fun. And I think over time of working with a variety of different people in a variety of different industries, you start to kind of find what works best for you. And obviously, like the standard saying is, not every coach can coach everybody. Not every coach is right for you. And I definitely encourage people to pick a person that they actually like and have chemistry with, because this is something where if you're going to really put your heart and soul into it, you need to have a good match for that. So I tell people, I'm going to be your tough love cheerleader. I like that description because you're going to work. We're going to work hard, but I also say you're going to laugh a lot. I have one of my clients that I'm blessed to be friends with now that we're done working together. And she said to me, she said, "Oh my goodness, if laughing means that you would live longer," she goes, "I think I'm going to live like 5 to 7 years longer for how much I've laughed with you." Because I love to make it as fun as I can, because it's hard work. Change is hard work, and finding the right person who inspires you, who motivates you, who lifts you up, who helps you to feel everything about yourself that you want to feel already, and then get to the place where you want to be. That's a really personal journey. So I've worked
very challenging, right? I mean, as the recipient, as the person who's being coached, you really have to be vulnerable. You have to trust your coach. That's why talking about your process, I think, is so important, because if your coach just got their $49 certificate, I'm not picking on any of you. Yes, I am. And you're out there and you're actually trying to make an impact on someone's life, and you don't have the background to do it, it can be very detrimental. So finding the right coach that you trust and that you feel good about divulging all of your deepest, darkest secrets, especially when it comes to business, are concerned is just critical.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with that. Especially, and you touched on that, some of the senior level and executive people that I work with, it's very key that I ascribe totally to the code of ethics, which is I don't discuss anything about my clients unless, of course, they've given me permission to do so. And because for some of them, I am the safe space for them to talk about very critical things for their business, which can represent multi-million-dollar deals that, if handled poorly by someone like me, just blabbing off at the mouth, could ruin a very, very good, successful venture for them. So it is very important to find someone who you can trust and who you can develop that relationship with, to really be willing to say, this is my safe space where I can talk about anything. And I like to say, for my senior executives, I'm the person who's not just a yes person. I will call you out on your stuff if I think that you can do something better. And I think senior executives really need that space to be able to have someone who doesn't just go, "Oh, you're the boss, of course I'm supposed to say yes to you, even if I don't really agree with you." Whereas I'm going to say, "Yeah, you're paying me, but we're both choosing to be in this relationship together, and you're paying me to be honest with you. And yeah, I'll try and find a nice way to do it." But tough love provider, there's a reason both of those words are in there.
I love the tough love, and I think what people need, that accountability. There's got to be, you need an accountability partner. But I find that if you are engaging someone and paying someone to help you to the next level, then you want them to tell you the truth. Otherwise, you can find a million yes people, but you want to find somebody who will say, you know what, Ted, you're full of it, or that is the absolute wrong way to go, in my opinion. You say it much nicer, I'm sure, but those are my words. But I want you to take us to when a client comes to you first, and I'm nervous. I say yes, I like you, I want to work with you, I like your energy, and then I come to you, and I'm all sorts of scared. What are one of the first one or two things that you begin to work with them? Some first steps that you really try to, because it's a path, it's a long journey, right? It's a journey that they have to be committed to, but there's always a first step. What's that step?
So I like to have a discovery call. I think that's pretty standard for a lot of coaches. I like to have a discovery call to make sure we're going to fit together, to make sure that I'm the right coach. I have gotten to the place where I don't just say, "Oh, you want coaching? Yes, I'll be your coach." I have to know that you're ready to invest. And I like to do a questionnaire that really gets people thinking about what have they already done? What are they already proud of? And what are they willing to start with? And what are maybe a couple of small steps that they can think of that they can take already, just to kind of set up that mindset of what can you already do for yourself, even without me? And are you ready to do those? And when are you going to be ready to do those? So to kind of prep for that first conversation, I like to have read, of course, that questionnaire and have questions ready for them about what does this journey look like for you? What are your expectations? And the biggest thing that I like to establish at first is, what's that really big thing that you want to do? What's that someday thing that, I've always wanted to do, whatever it is, fill in the blank. I use the example a lot of, I want to go climb Mount Kilimanjaro. Okay, so you're a couch potato now and you want to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. So that's the big thing that you want to do.
Ooh,
so
that's a big leap.
Yeah. How can we break that down into small steps? And that's where my U plus 1% comes in, is we take you, we add 1%, we do it today, not tomorrow, not someday, but we do it today. And how can we build on that so that in a reasonable amount of time, you can go from couch potato to on top of Mount Kilimanjaro? I don't help people with mountaineering, but it's an example I use.
I didn't put that on there, but I wanted to, but I put it on the original post. U plus 1% today. So break it down. The 1%, people get you, me, yes. They get today. Yeah. They don't like it, but they get it. What's the 1%?
So the 1%, and this is something that I'll actually do on a discovery call. Even if someone doesn't choose to work with me, I believe in making an impact, having a positive, footprint in someone's life. And so if you get on a call with me, I'm going to say, what's that one thing that you're going to do to move yourself forward today? It can be a tiny thing. It can be a phone call that you've been putting off. It can be you've been wanting to read more books. Okay, are you going to, before you go to sleep tonight, read for 10 minutes? What is it? And I like to say it's pick your poison time. It's you pick it as the client, you pick it, and then I'm going to hold you accountable to it. And if someone says, we'll go back to my Mount Kilimanjaro example. If someone says, I'm going to start moving my toes inside my shoes, I will say, I think actually maybe let's try standing up today. I will push. But if someone says, okay, I'm going to start running 5 miles, I'm going to go, ooh, hey, how about maybe we just walk around the living room once or twice? How about we do that? So just kind of modifying the action step that's chosen to make sure it's reasonable, it's achievable, because I don't want to start out on the wrong foot, if you will, of saying, I'm going to do this great big thing that I know is most likely going to end up with injuries and those kinds of things. So I like to say, let's find that 1%. And what it looks like depends on what's that big goal. What are we shooting for? To use my Mount Kilimanjaro example, it's get up off the couch, maybe set aside the snacks, and take a lap around your house and see how that feels. Learn about stretching, do some YouTube videos about some exercises, just to use my silly example. But it's find that one thing that you can actually do today. I had someone that I spoke to and I said, what's the one thing you're going to do today? We've had this conversation. I don't really care if you're going to work with me or not. What's the one thing you're going to do for yourself today? And he said, maybe tomorrow. And I said, no, you misunderstood me. Today. What's the one thing you're going to do today? Like, your eyeballs don't get to close and sleep until you've done something. What is it? And it really floored him. And my belief is getting started is often the hardest part. And if we can break that loose with just one little step, how awesome is that?
It's such a great concept, because it is that little step. People get so caught up in, all right, I already have to be caught up with the Joneses. And so I have to be on Mount Kilimanjaro from the couch tomorrow, or maybe today, and they set themselves up for failure or feeling bad, and then of course that's detrimental to the journey itself. So, what would you say that one of the mistakes is not the word I like to use, but what's one thing that people have to kind of it's painful, might hurt a little bit, but you see your clients repeating over and over again that you have to kind of take them back in and say, you know what, we talked about this. Because I feel like people make the same kinds of universal mistakes when you're getting into coaching, when you are being coached. They want to do it too fast, or they want to do it in a way that's the same way they've been doing it and then can't figure out why with the old way and it's not working.
Yeah. I think it's two faceted, and I'm going to use the example of New Year's resolutions. You know, a lot of us are tempted. Oh, okay, it's a new year. I'm going to start out. I'm going to be a totally different person. Never mind that I went to bed at 3:00 in the morning and maybe I had a little too much drink or whatever. That's not setting you up for success. So a lot of it is that false expectation and also the fear of failure kind of working against you. The over enthusiastic, and then you wake up at 5:00 in the morning when you've promised to go work out every single day for the rest of your life because of New Year's resolutions, and you realize I've had 2 hours of sleep and that's not going to work. So it's dealing with the false expectations of yourself, and then the fear of failure, kind of setting yourself up to say, oh, well, I'm probably not going to be able to do it anyway. So I call it perspective shifting. And that's where I will say, you had a couple of other phrases that you said. I'm sure you would say it nicer. And it's true. I do have a couple of other ways that I say it. But I will say, I would like to give you my perspective. If you're open to it, I'd like to give you my perspective. And often someone will have said, da, 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 da. And I say, well, what about this? What about if you look at it from this angle? And sometimes it's just getting someone out of that mental groove, if you will, to use what you were referencing. You know, we have these set patterns in our brain of this is the way I've always done it. So that's the most comfortable thing. And so to say, okay, how can we shift that over and pick a new path? And yeah, that's going to feel a little painful. There are weeds over there. You know, we have to deal with all of that stuff, maybe a couple of trees and boulders, but it's moving you just that little bit will sometimes shift that mindset to say, oh, I can actually do this. And so it bumps you out of both the fear and the false perception of you have to be successful immediately.
Love that.
No, we can take our time to do it right and help you be successful faster in the end.
So let me ask you about friends, because I've had people who say, I don't need a coach. I have friends that give me all the advice I could possibly ever want. And my point back to them, especially if I know their scenario, is how is that working out for you right now? The problem with friends and family is that each of them is coming from their own place and their own baggage and their own thought process and their own experiences in their way. And they're not necessarily overall removed and looking out for the person in a way that they need to be looked out for. And that's, I feel like a coach comes in, it's very, you don't have anything that you have preconceived notions about this person. You just want to see them to the end. You want to see them be successful. So talk a little bit about that. When you have somebody come in and they give you a hard time and say, you know, Elaine, I got 5 brothers and sisters that can help me out with this. Thanks a lot. But do you push back on them at all, or do you just kind of let them go? I'm always fascinated how that conversation ends.
Well, I find that interestingly, if you're willing to or interested enough to get on the phone with a coach, there's something there. And so your question is actually a really good one. And that's to say, how's that working for you? And what's the one thing that you'd like to be doing that you can't or aren't? And why is that? And, you know, if someone can have a little breakthrough right there and go, oh, that's the one thing I can do. Great. Go have your amazing life. And I still get to feel like that's a part of my legacy because I helped you do that. But you know,
I love that approach, because not everyone is for you. Not everyone's a perfect client, a good client for you. And you're not the coach for everyone. And I think if people could just realize that, that's why your consult and your questionnaire and the things that you do beforehand are so critical. Because what happens is a lot of people get involved. They pick a coach, somebody told them, the coach, for whatever reason, doesn't really take a deep dive and there's a lot of things that can go wrong in that
Mm-hmm.
relationship. And if you don't set the parameters up front, it can be negative.
Yeah.
Whereas I think coaching is just like having, my bartender or a therapist or your pastor, your counselor, whatever you want to say. It's this great combination, and it's helping me move forward in whatever aspect of life I'm trying to figure out or get better at or move forward in. So
Mm-hmm.
I love what you do. Have you ever had to let a client go?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's good. That's a testament again to the fact that it really needs to be a positive relationship, and a relationship where that person is willing to go along the steps with you
Yeah.
rather than fight you the whole way. I would imagine you probably get that, but we're all like that. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad to hear that, because I think it's important that coaches, that adds a lot of integrity to what you do.
Yeah.
You're not taking the money just cause, but that's the impression out there of what coaching is a lot for people. Oh, they're just going to take my money, tell me what I want to hear, and it's all going to be, that's not true.
Not with
So
me.
tell me, I know I'm preaching to the choir with you, but I want people to know that it's so important to find the right mix and the
Yeah.
match and what that means to you and what your commitment level is. And if it isn't going to work, you'll find someone.
Yeah.
But you have to have, I like the training that you had, because I can't tell you how many people I have moved away from a coach that literally got the certificate a week before. And it's detrimental to all of our businesses when that happens. All right. So any parting words of wisdom, anything you want to share with them before we head out? A nugget you want to leave them with? Because I want people to reach out to you. I want people to engage you. I want people to check you out on LinkedIn. All of my Facebook friends, I will put her link to LinkedIn when we're done with the show, but she's only on LinkedIn. She does not have a website. So that's where you're going to have to find her. And if you're not on LinkedIn, you're missing out. So any nuggets you want to share with them, Elaine?
Well, I was just going to say what I typically say is if you want to find me, you do have to come to LinkedIn, and it's Elaine Jacques all squished together, and look for the red hair and the big smile, and you found me. But I love to leave people with the idea of I truly do believe in my tagline, which is become even more amazing. That you have arrived to the place in your life through all the things that you have done, and I think you're amazing exactly the way you are, and I applaud you for getting where you are. And if someone like me or me can help you, that's awesome. And if you're doing it on your own and you're rocking it, you go and you do your thing and make our world a better place, being what exactly the person that you are.
Perfect. All right. You guys reach out. You're always asking me who's a coach you would recommend, Ted? Who's a coach I can get in touch with? Okay, I'm giving you a coach to get in touch with. Reach out, see if it's the right fit for you. Engage, do the consult, but you all want to move your businesses forward and whatever else you're working on forward. This is a positive way to do that. So thank you for being patient, Elaine. Thank you for being flexible. That was awesome. You
Absolutely.
all check her out on LinkedIn, and I'll give the link later on.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much, Ted.
Thanks, Elaine. Have a great weekend. You guys have a great weekend. Mwah. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.